welcome to the Leading Ladies Conference 2020. I'm so happy and excited to have you at this breakout session where we are discussing the business lady. The business lady, right? But I'm sure that you've really been impacted. You're being impacted. I know I am by the whole conference, by the powerful speakers that are pouring in so much information, knowledge, and inspiration into us. So thank you, especially for joining me in this session about the entrepreneur woman, the woman that chooses that path. I believe that just the name, the business lady, has me all happy and excited and thrilled. And I hope that you feel the same way too. So I am Lema Abeng. I am based in Atlanta. I'm an author and I'm the publisher of the magazine. I am a business owner and I'm a mother of 3. And I started working for myself since I was in my mid-20s when I created my first business, and since then I've pretty much been working for myself. And what really drives me is to be there for my children, also to be financially secure and to be in control of how I make my money and how much money I make. So I'm a business lady, and so I'm so happy to welcome you into this session today so that we can really look at some key, factors that affect that journey as a business lady, right? So let's start. So who is the business lady? I would start by, by this first slide that reminds us we women are generally natural born leaders. Think about it. We are generally natural born leaders. So it's actually part of an organization called Women Are Core, which I founded. And what we do is we raise awareness about the lives of women, what they go through, and the issues that affect them in different parts of the world. So in our organization, we came to the agreement that women are the core of our communities, right? So if you're on this forum today, regardless of where we come from, regardless of our race, regardless of our circumstances, we are the core. So we came up with, okay, so what does this core stand for? And this is what we came up with. The core, women are the core, right? So C stands for community builders. O, we are originators of brilliant ideas. R, we are resilient, resolute leaders. E, we are enduring family pillars. So we are community builders, we are originators of brilliant ideas, we are resilient and resolute leaders, and we are enduring pillars of our families. So we are the core. So if you're already here today and you've joined me, I need you to understand that as a woman, you're a natural born leader. Isn't that exciting? Because we lead every day in so many different ways and in so many different places. So when it comes to business, understand that you already have one aspect of success ticked off, and that's the aspect of being a leader. You just need to decide, is this for you? And if it's for you and you step on that path, know that you can make it work if that's the choice that you decide to make. Let's move on to our next slide. And that next slide says, how can you tell that business is for you? I mean, this is a serious question. It's very important to understand whether business is for you or not. Personally, I would say that it first starts with having an understanding of what a business is. So a business is an organization or a company that fulfills a need in the community. So whether it's in our local communities, a nearby community, or even the world at large, businesses fulfill needs. And so you have to in order to start your journey being in business, you have to first start by identifying a need in the marketplace that you or your business can fulfill. And then when you identify that need, you start your business. And as you fulfill that need, you make money along the way. Isn't that exciting? So businesses fulfill a need in the community. So in fact, when you look at the big picture, if many of us here have worked jobs, or maybe we are working jobs, and what jobs do is that, jobs are provided to us by companies that are already fulfilling a need in the community, whether in education, in sports, entertainment, real estate, healthcare, so these companies fulfill a need. So as a business lady, what you start to think, instead of me working for somebody, why don't I create my own company that fulfills this need in the community? You see, so that's the mindset. So now, how do you tell if this is for you? For somebody like me, when I came to the United States many years ago, a few years after being here, I started an income tax firm, and that firm provides services, income tax services to the community and to small businesses, individuals and small businesses. We help them with their taxes, and we also help them with other financial issues that they may be facing. So it's for you to ask yourself, okay, so where can I position myself? What kind of business can I start? What am I good at? And how can I fulfill a need? And once you do that, you're already on the, you're already you're already many steps ahead as well. So, but how do you know whether business is for you? I would say this: many people hold back, many people start, some hold back, some do not hold back. So it all depends on how you're going to approach it. But one way to know if business is for you is that you just don't stop thinking about it. So let's say you are working a job, and every time you're like, oh my god, maybe I should be an entrepreneur, maybe I should be building my own business. I don't like working for somebody else. I don't feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm on the wrong path. So if you constantly think that way, for some people, like normally we are programmed to just work, and when we start working, it may be difficult for us to step back into our calling of being business ladies. So, but if this idea of being a businesswoman and working for yourself keeps on being at the back of your mind, then that's a sign that business is truly your calling. So I want you to know that from this session that you can actually honor that calling, and many of us have honored that calling, and we are successful along that field. So don't feel like being a business lady is reserved for a select few, or for those people that we look up to, like, oh my god, they are so special. Each and every one of us can be a business lady. So our next slide is: the business lady moves from the back seat into the driver's seat. Okay, so this slide is very important. I'm sure you're smiling right now, because as women, we really are inherently, like I said, we lead very easily. But what has happened, or what happens all over the world, is that women naturally turn to do a lot of work for which they are not being paid. So that takes up a lot of time and holds us back from actually pursuing our dreams. So we, take care of work at the house, babysitting, cooking, taking care of the family, and even when we go out into the community, we do a lot of volunteering, which all of that is good. It's just that it is important to find a balance where you may be doing all the other work. Like I said, I'm a mother myself, so all of that is important, but you also have to create room to fulfill your dreams of business ownership. You have to create time and also put in the effort towards building your own dream and building your own business, right? And then another thing that has held many women back, because I'm out there in the community, and through my magazine especially, and the Women Are Core organization, I do work with quite a few women, and I've noticed that women tend to take on the roles, a supportive role. So whether it's in the church, whether it's even in the companies where they work, women are usually great supervisors, women are great managers. They provide that supportive role to those people that are the CEOs or the owners of those companies. So sometimes we shy back from creating our companies when we are actually the drivers of the success of those people that own those companies. And that's a skill that women have. And women really are still being used, to support and to drive success. So it is time for us to, actually learn to use our skills, to use our dedication to actually build our businesses, to break all those glass ceilings that have been holding us back, break them for the sake of our children, for the sake of the community, to see that we can be bigger than, always just being on the back end. We can actually be in the front end and build legacies. This conference is about building legacies, lasting legacies. We can actually build those legacies ourselves. We don't always have to be, in the shadow. We have to step out. We have to step from the sidelines into the ring and be major players in those industries where our skill set and our talents take us. So, for example, I was looking up I was reading a report that was really interesting, and that report, stated that in the whole world, like last year, that report was put out by Fortune.com, and they were so excited. They were like, for the first time, 33 women are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies worldwide. 33 women only are CEOs, but that is a huge step. And that 33 represents just 7% of the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. So that tells us that, although these numbers are improving, it also shows that we are regularly held back, and that it is up to us to change the dynamics. So there are many women that are working hard to change those dynamics. So we should also be part of the women that are working hard to change dynamics, to follow our dreams, to start our own businesses. And even if we are not offered seats in boardrooms, or we are not offered high-level corporate positions, we can still start our own companies and be business women, right? So let's go on to the next slide. How to start and sustain entrepreneurship. So we can do it. We can do it. Most often when I work with individuals that are business minded, they just need direction. They just need belief that they can do it. And then they also need to understand that, you need to have a certain really strong work ethic to work for yourself. I was also looking at this really great report that shows that the ownership of women-owned businesses are actually increasing. So last year, 27% of all small businesses or franchises in the US, in the United States, was owned by women. That was by Guardian Financial. So this number has been going up steadily over the years. That's good news, right? So that shows that we are out there working, we are hustling, we are making our dreams come true. And guess what? This number has come up because in the 70s, I was born in the 70s. So in the 70s, only 2% or only less than 5% of businesses were owned by women. So imagine we've come from less than 5% in the 70s to 27%. So that is really good. So let's build on that and let's keep that going. So how do we start these businesses? And I'm really looking forward to our session where we will actually interact and I get to hear from you and we get to share ideas. But how we start up these businesses is that first we find an area where there is a need, just like I mentioned. It is very important to take that part seriously, because sometimes people start businesses and they struggle, they have the zeal, they have the focus, but there's just not a need in that area. So the business finds it difficult to grow. But if you find a niche where there is a need and you're good at, if you're in an area where real estate is doing good, you can become a realtor. If you're in an area where people need insurance, you can become an insurance agent. If you're good at, hair and beauty, I actually wrote a book on how to work for yourself, discover the success principles I learned in 20 years working for myself. So that's a book that probably you need to read, and it really lays out the steps and the mindset that it takes to be successful in business. So find a niche, find an area where there is a need and that you're passionate about, and create your business in that area. That way, you're making money and your business is growing. Number two, spend time building your clientele. Most people get frustrated in business because when they start, the business finds it difficult to, gain traction and to gain momentum and then to become successful. So you have to work hard at building your customer base. You have to have a strategy in place. And my book talks about it too. You have to reach out to people. Sometimes it's as technical or as smart as thinking of where your business would be located so that customers will find you even as you try to find them. Customers, your clients, your client base, the people that are tapping into your business or using your business, those are the people that actually fund your business. You make money when you service them, when you provide goods or products to them. So make sure that you choose an area where you can actually find customers and build a customer base. So as you build a customer base and as your business grows, then it's easy for you to be successful. In fact, you will become successful. And then you can there are people that have gone on to create multiple businesses from one business that they started. And I am an example. When I started with my firm and then I went into sales, I did very well in it. Today I have a magazine, I'm an author. So once you start and you start on a good footing, that is good. Sometimes you may need to, there are people that try quite a few things before they finally find that business that works for them. So if you are determined to find a business that works for you, even if you fail a few times, eventually you'll get it right. That's what's so exciting about it. So find an area and also spend time building your customer base. So that brings us to the end of the session. So I'm going to open it up where we can have a question and answer session. I just want you to know, if you're a woman, of course I think you are, if you're in this session with me today, that it is possible. Success is not reserved just for a few select few. It is possible to get on the driver's seat of your life and of your company. It is possible to dream. It is possible to not fall back. We come from where I come from. I'm Cameroonian, and I remember growing up that my mom used to work so hard. She had her job, but she still did other things on the side. So most of our parents did that. They had jobs, but they did sewing or they did little petty trades on the side. Some of them sold pastries, some of them just did other things, but were able to make extra money. So it's the same with us. We come from those genes. We have those genes that are entrepreneurial, and for some of us, it's already inbuilt in our DNA. It's for us to take advantage of them. We grow up in societies where I remember in Douala when I used to leave and I was going to work in the morning when I started my small business, and it was so many of us trying to, commute. There will be women by the sides of the road selling puff-puff, selling pap, selling puff-puff and beans, pap and beans, and that would be breakfast for us. But they positioned themselves where we were able to get that from them, and they made money. So we come from a heritage of women that are hardworking and women that have a deep, deep entrepreneur spirit. So I hope that this session inspires you today to actually really think about what you want to do. And if you come to the conclusion that having a business, even if you're still at a job and you need to diversify, or if that's what you want to do full swing, if you come to the conclusion that that's something you want to do, I want you to know that you can be successful if you really want it. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to your questions.